Prescott looking in zone. That one's picked off. It's Kaiser White.
Welcome back to another Valley Sports Plug Arizona Cardinals recap for Week 3. It's September 24th, 2023, and the 0-2 Arizona Cardinals host the 2-0 Dallas Cowboys at home in State Farm Stadium. The final score in this one was 28-16, and the Cardinals win their first game of the season. Let's go. Also, Jonathan Gannon's first win as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go ahead and see how that broke down for us here today. The Cardinals would take a quick 3-0 lead with a Matt Prater field goal within the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the first quarter. The Cardinals got the stop, and on a 7-play drive, James Conner runs in a 5-yard touchdown. The Cardinals fail to convert the 2-point conversion, and the score would be 9-0 Cardinals. At the end of the first, Brandon Aubrey kicks in a 49-yard field goal for Dallas and makes it 9-3 Cardinals at the end of the quarter. In the second, Rondale Moore runs in an impressive 45-yard touchdown. Again, the Cardinals fail to convert the 2-point conversion. The score now 15-3 Cardinals. The Cowboys answer. Rico Dowdell grabs a 15-yard touchdown from Dak Prescott. It's now 10-15 Cardinals. Matt Prater knocks in a pair of field goals to finish the half, one from 43 yards out, the other from 62 as time expires. It's 21-10 Cardinals at the break. Cowboys strike first in the third with a 27-yard field goal from Aubrey to make it 21-13 Cardinals. Again, Aubrey would knock in another from 26 early in the fourth quarter to chip away at the lead and make it 21-16 Cardinals going into the fourth. The final score of the game would come on a 2-yard touchdown from Josh Dobbs to Marquise Brown with 7 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game. The final score 28-16, and the Cardinals win it at home. Now I'll pass it over to Michael Benjamin for a look at the stats in this one and his thoughts on the Cardinals win.
All right, guys, I got to be honest. Were you thinking that it was going to be a tale of two halves once again like we had against the Giants? It seemed like that, but oh, baby, was it sweet. It's always sweet to beat the Dallas Cowboys. But we got to look at how this game broke down stat-wise. We're looking at the offenses, pretty similar. Dallas had 416 total yards, 231 passing and 185 rushing. Arizona, 400 yards, 178 passing, but 222 impressive rushing yards. Time of possession was really dominated by Dallas with 34.5 minutes comparative to 25.5 for Arizona. But Josh Dobbs, man, he continues to be consistent and not turn the football over. That's what we need. 17 of 21, 189 yards and a touchdown. Dak Prescott, he lets it go, man. 25 of 40, 249 yards. Also a touchdown for him, but a big interception at the end of the game. Our bell cow, James Conner, just continues to be a menace to start the season for the Cardinals. 14 carries, 98 yards, and a touchdown. And now the Dallas Cowboys have their own bell cow with Tony Pollard, who had 23 carries for 122 yards. If we're looking at wide receivers for the Cowboys, Michael Gallup was their leading receiver with 6 catches for 92 yards. We were able to hold CD to kind of a pedestrian day with 4 receptions for only 53 yards. And I love it, man. The Cardinals are trying to continue to get Hollywood Brown involved as he was our leading receiver with 5 catches, 61 yards, and a huge touchdown to basically seal the game for us. We also have to talk about our biggest takeaways from the game, which was chunk plays and just different looks on offense. You know, we had a big run from Josh Dobbs for 44 yards. That huge touchdown run from Rondale Moore for 45 yards. We also had a gutsy deep shot to Hollywood on 3rd down on our own 7 in the 3rd quarter. And then I know Tallman likes this one, the huge 69-yard catch from Michael Wilson with 9 minutes left, which really just put the clamp on that game for us, man. And football teams, man, they got to get lucky too, right? You know, we were able to scratch out those 3 points from Prater's 62-yard kick at the end of the first half from a nice return from our guy, Greg Dortch, the Dorcher Chamber, making an impact even though he's really not playing on offense much, unfortunately. And I know this is what has been the key to success for the Cardinals right now is that defense holding strong. I know I was talking about we were worried about a tale of two halves after them giving up 28 unanswered last week. But you look at it, man. Keitrell Clark, he was getting picked on a couple times, but then he makes a huge play against Lamb in the red zone. We get a huge fourth down stop. And you look at the drives that the Cowboys had, which went for 67 yards, 80 yards, 56, and 69, and they only mustered 2 field goals. If I were to look at the box score, I would say there's no way that a team didn't score at least 17 points. But it was bend, don't break all day long. And man, it feels good to get a W. I know Tallman doesn't love it because he said, we're not on the path, but we're going to take this W, damn it. So, Tallman, I'll pass it over to you, man. What did you see out there today?
Oh, brother, do I have a special gift for you? You guys see this? These are the tears of all the Cowboys fans out there. All you Cowboy fans that got on your little plane to fly to Phoenix, to get into your dually truck, to drive through New Mexico, over to Phoenix, to come to State Farm Stadium and turn the Red Sea into the Blue Sea. How does it feel? Oh, does it taste so good? The victory is so sweet. My dogs are jumping in. Cut that out, editor. But oh boy, is it our day to shine, guys. But hey, this is incredible. Did you guys know this is Josh Dobbs' first career win as a starting quarterback? And boy, was it glorious to come out and beat that team, the Dallas Cowboys, a team that went 70-10 in their first 2 games this season against those. I don't. It's crazy. This is incredible. I know we've been talking. Do we really want to win? But this win has just been so sweet. The last 2 games, we've scored 20 points in the first half. And then to score on all 5 of our possessions in the first half is incredible, guys. What about that Prater kick to end the second quarter? 62 yards. That's the longest kick made so far this season. That is flipping crazy. But hey, we're the first team this season to have over 150 rushing yards in one half of football. That is also crazy. With all the low expectations on this team, you're 12-point underdogs, and then just hit them in the mouth. But Josh Dobbs, that 40-yard rush, second play of the game, that was an absolute tone setter. He came out, faked everybody out, faked even me out watching it, and he ripped that run off, and you could just see how fired up he was. And everyone else was fired up, and I feel like they just took it from there. Big shout out to James Conner. I mean, it seemed like he had all this running room. Offensive line was opening up for him. And then Wilson did have an incredible play. He did get that 69-yard catch, and boy, was he wide open. He had real estate in front of him. So I got to give him some props. I know I don't usually like to, but all around is just an incredible outing from the Arizona Cardinals, and I had an absolute blast watching it.
Guys, I don't have too much to say that you haven't already. I'll just double down with Tallman in saying that when it's 21-10 at halftime, I'm thinking, here we go again. Jonathan Gannon is giving the tank speech. Monty Austinfort is breaking down doors, telling guys to keep their eyes on the prize and that first round pick. But no, that myth has been completely dispelled now. The Cardinals are trying to win football games, and just imagine where we could be if just a few things had gone differently in the first 2 weeks. I mean, we could be looking at a 3-0 Cardinals team. Nobody saw this coming at all. It's an interesting dynamic in the news sphere I've been hearing this week, where Kyler Murray is posting things on his social media indicating that he wants to come back as quick as possible and he's ready to go, more or less. But on the same other side of the token, the team is saying that they're not going to rush bringing Kyler back. And so it seems like, I don't know if there's a happy medium or if we're really going to be on the Cardinals timeline and look to maybe be in the middle towards the back half of this season before we see a Kyler Murray. But it just begs the question, like, if we had Kyler Murray these last 2 weeks, would we be that 3-0 team? But you got to give Josh Dobbs credit, right? The passes, he is getting them out quick. He's making decisions. He's not letting the pressure affect him, and he's able to use his legs. I mean, Tallman and I were watching the game together today, and he turned to me and said, man, I didn't know Dobbs had wheels like that. He's getting out there and getting away from guys. I mean, he outran, what was it, Micah Parsons at one point? Absolutely incredible. And on top of that all, we get the win against a team that everyone was writing off as a double-digit win against the Cardinals. So in whole, the Cardinals are trying to win games, and they proved that today. Congrats to Jonathan Gannon for getting his first career win. And Man, it just makes a big question mark for those rest of the games, the rest of the season. They might have to adjust those odds in the sports books to catch up with the times a little bit. But fellas, I think we're at that time in the recap where I need to know who you guys chose for your player of the recap this week. So Michael Benjamin, I'll give you the floor first.
So let's be transparent, right, guys? Shouldn't just be player of the game when you talk about the defense. It was the side of the football. Just incredible. Continued QB pressures, continued attacking of the football, had 9 passes defended, 4 QB hits, and 2 sacks. Guys were just flying all over the field, and people are stepping up into positions that they might not have seen themselves having the opportunity to, but they're taking advantage of it on the defense as a whole. But we're talking about player of the recap. So I got to go with my man, linebacker Kyzir White. The new guy, Jonathan Gannon's guy from Philadelphia Eagles. He had 14 total tackles today, 8 solos, a tackle for loss, and that big interception against Dak Prescott in the red zone. But let's be honest again, that ball could have been picked off by either Keitrell Clark or Andre. I mean, it was 3 guys just attacking that football, and that's what we were seeing all day long. But Kyzir White just continues to show that he is a dog. And this is what this team and this defense continues to bring out within these first 3 weeks. So I'm very excited to see how this group continues to grow. But this week, I had to go with Kyzir. So Tallman, player of the recap, who you got this time?
All right. I want to go with none other than Mr. Joshua Dobbs. This was probably somebody that I don't think I would ever have picked as player of the recap, but you got to give it to him, man. I mean, of course, you look at his stats, it's not going to jump off the page at you, but going 17 for 21, 189 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, no fumbles. And then he also, with his legs, had a nice 6 carries for 55 yards. The reason why I'm picking Dobbs, I already mentioned it before, ripping off that 44-yard rush at the beginning of the game, it was an absolute tone setter. He fired this team up. He has been the leader of this team, and it starts with Dobbs, and I feel like it ends with Dobbs. He played a great football game. He secured the football. He put his team in position to win this game, and he did exactly that. So I feel like Dobbs deserves my pick for player of the recap. He just continues to get better and better every single week. And like Chris already mentioned, I mean, this could be a 3-0 football team. We lost by 4 week 1, lost by 3 last week, and then we absolutely whooped one of the best teams in the NFL. Dobbs did that against a top 2, top 3 defense. Granted, I know they lost Trayvon Diggs, but how much of impact really did that have? Probably not as much as we would even think if Diggs did play that game. I think we still win this game if Diggs plays. But hats off to him, an incredible performance, and congrats to him on his first career win as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Joshua Dobbs and the Cardinals defense do not shy away from a challenge, and that has been evident through these first 3 weeks. And also, my player of the recap, James Conner, also refuses to back down from a challenge. He has been getting it done out there, man. Did you guys know that after this week, he's ranked number 6 for rushing yards in the NFL? In this game, he had 98 rushing yards on 14 carries and a rushing touchdown. He even hauled in 2 receptions for 18 yards. It's nothing we didn't already know, guys, right? If James Conner is healthy, he is able to produce for this team. And through 3 weeks so far, he's looking like an absolute stud, and he's staying healthy. So knock on wood, I hope he can stay the course, continue to do well, because it really shows that we're going to need him. If you look at the guys behind him, they have not been able to be effective on their limited opportunities that they've had so far. James Conner, man, is just an absolute stud, and that's why I had to go with him for my player of the recap. But man, it feels so good being 1-2 instead of 0-3, I would have to say. Next week, we are going to San Francisco, or Santa Clara, I guess, to take on the 49ers next Sunday afternoon. We'll be sure to bring you a recap that following Monday. So make sure you like and subscribe right here on our YouTube channel, Valley Sports Plug, at AZ_VSP on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And we will continue to bring you recaps every single week. But for Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman, I am Chris Patrick, and we'll see you next time. Peace. That's one bad bird.
Cardinals fans, it's time to stand and bring